Oh, hey, Dave.
Hi, my little Hufflepuff. How are you?
That is offensive on a number of levels. For one thing, don't agree with J.K. Rowling or what she's up to. For two, I am clearly a Slytherin.
Now, I'm not sure if you listened to last week's episode about train hopping, but we're basically running a competition to guess Rosabel's first ever email address. And do you know what it was? Did she ever tell you?
She has, and I've forgotten it. And I'm actually gutted about it. Like, I actually feel like I'm getting dementia because it was a really memorable one. It was super rude, and I'm just like, what is it? What is it? It's real gross. I can't even remember. It's some sex thing that I can't even name because of my Christian upbringing. I can't even think of what it could be.
Do you think there's any chance that any listeners will get even close to it?
You just have to think it's against type. You just have to think it's basically the opposite of what her voice sounds like. I think maybe, it's so weird. It's just, she sounds like so nice and normal and soft spoken, and then it's just like, fuck witch 69 at Hotmail.
Hey, you're pretty close.
Yeah.
Today's episode is going to be about Portland, but it's also kind of just an excuse to check in on the state of America at large. And I'm just wondering how Hayden over in New Zealand is feeling about America right now.
Oh, I mostly try not to think about it. That's really been my tactic for this entire Trump term. And I mean, I know it's really important to you and you might get killed or deported and stuff, but I just can't be worrying about that on a personal level. So I feel bad about America. I think that it's not going in the right direction, but the futility and powerlessness of actually trying to do anything about it or worry about it from New Zealand, I just try and ignore it.
I'm David Farrier, and New Zealand are accidentally marooned in America, and I want to figure out what makes this country tick. Now, as you just heard in my conversation with Hayden, today Flightless Bird tackles Portland. If you listen to one news show or social media channel, it's a war zone. Another one says it's all inflatable frogs. So, prepare to get hot takes on Portland, Oregon, and of course, see if anyone guessed Rosabel's email address from last week, because this is the Portland episode.
Flightless bird touchdown in America. I'm a flightless bird touchdown in America.
Rob, how are you?
I'm good.
We did a live show in Portland, which seems like years ago.
Yeah,
But it was like 4 months ago.
It was like 6 months ago.
My friend is playing there at the moment and just sent a photo of the parking app, and apparently it's called like Kitty. And it's like, they're just like, this is Portland.
Yeah.
And I feel like when anyone says anything about Portland, they're like, this is so Portland. But I feel I still don't know what that really means.
Weird and kind of off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Portlandia?
Portlandia, that's the one. I've never watched it. Is that like reflective of what the city is?
Very much. It's caricatures of every type of person that lives there. There's like the feminist bookstore that Fred Armisen plays one of them and carries the other, and every single kind of character that you would
so every niche you could imagine
yes.
is kind of there.
Yes.
There's a few New Zealanders I know that live in Portland, and they said they liken it to landing in the most New Zealand place in America they could be. And so I think that's quite interesting.
Portland's my favorite city outside of Chicago.
Okay.
I've always loved Portland from the first time I went there.
Because in my mind, it's also like Portland and Seattle feel like cousins, kind of.
I like Seattle a lot as well.
But Portland wins.
Portland's a little...
Is it weirder? Like a bit like smaller?
It's a little weirder. I feel like Seattle's a little more tech hub.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Of course, this has evolved over the first time I went to Portland was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like a little more hipster, a little more trendy.
Growing up in New Zealand, I always just think Seattle grunge. Like that's all I know about it is like that's where Soundgarden came from. Pearl Jam, I think as well.
Although I have been spending more and more time in Seattle the last few years, and I love it there as well.
Seems like you're easily swayed with wherever you currently are. You like this place.
I just really love the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Like I think I very much could end up living there at some point.
Once you get out of this horrific podcast game, just go and retire in a slightly smaller city.
Retire in the woods.
Before we talk more about Portland, we should get to Rosabel's email. I didn't intend this for it to become such a thing.
It was pretty great, though. I was thrilled on Tuesday morning when I saw all the comments coming in.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part of making this show, I think, feedback. Now, is the comments. When we do prompts like that.
The best.
I don't love when we get the McDonald's thing wrong, and that's what all
Yeah. No, it's nice when the fun and insanity kind of ensues.
Yes.
And yeah, sort of this. So if you weren't listening last week, you should listen because Train Hopping was a really good epi. But I revealed that Rosabel, her first email was one of the filthiest emails I'd ever heard. Mm-hmm. I told you, Rob, we bleeped it. And then you sort of said, hey, if you're listening to the show and you want to guess, if you guess it correctly, you will get a free 1 hour Zoom date with Rosabel. Not a romantic date, just a date, like a meeting. You get to hang out. Well, maybe don't
call it date then. Date in America kind of has the connotation of romantic.
Romance.
Yeah.
Is that what I've been doing wrong? It was friendship dates.
Yeah.
You get an hour meeting with Rosabel, like your own personal podcast with her.
You can ask for business advice if you want.
She's so
recipes.
Smart. Yeah. Life advice.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So the first thing that happened is that our Spotify comments got flooded with people just writing the most filthy email addresses they could imagine. Angie wrote in, "Hi, David and Rob. Spotify removed my comment. Maybe it's best to tell people not to put things like this in the Spotify comment section. I'm not sure how long I'm blocked from Spotify for. I never talk like this normally. My Spotify podcast comment on Flightless Bird was," and this is incredible, we might have to bleep this, just casually says, Angie, my Spotify comment was suck my at hotmail.com and suck my at hotmail.com. We'll definitely bleep that one. Spotify wrote back to Angie, which she CC'd me in on, that reply. We received a report that your content violates Spotify's terms and conditions of use. Upon review, we have removed the following content for violating Spotify's platform rules. They did reverse their decision later, which is very...
it's kind of them. I mean, context is everything.
Context is everything, as in most things in life. So someone else wrote in, and I think this is really accurate, it's almost like, and I can never say this word, a Rorschach test.
Yeah.
About how dirty the mind of the person guessing is. And reading these replies, it really is, because some people's idea of what the filthiest email was so tame.
We do game nights at my house sometimes with a group of friends.
You love game nights. I've been to a few of them.
Yeah. And we will occasionally, when it's going late and everyone's gotten like a little...
fucked up on coke. Yeah. High on mushrooms.
No. A little just like slap happy. We will do a round of the game where it's like dirty prompts. Well, like write the filthiest thing you can think of.
And I imagine it differs from horrific to incredibly tame.
Yes, because there are some people that are like, the very genuine.
The filthiest thing they can think of is like dirty diaper at hotmail.com.
Yeah. I will say my friend Carly and I end up having the filthiest.
I feel like Natalie would be more pure. Or not drawn into your filth.
She can, but...
She rises above.
She doesn't want to play that game.
Yeah, I respect that.
It's more out of principle that she won't, but she's capable.
Someone did pick up as well. It sounded like it had an S sound before the bleep, which I will say is accurate.
It is.
It does start with a S. So look, I'm just going to read out the answers a lot of you got.
We'll have to bleep all of them,
right?
We
probably will. I'll also just say if you have kids in the car, I'm getting a lot of feedback at the moment. Last week, a lot of people writing in saying like, I love Flightless Bird. I'm 12 or I'm 11. And that has made me go, uh-oh.
Yeah, that changes.
Yeah, and I'd say if you are listening to this podcast and you have a child, just remind them this is sort of a more mature show, I guess. But also the kids are cool. Kids are smart, right?
Just this section. So just like maybe skip ahead 3 minutes.
Okay, so here we go. Rosabel the concubine, suck Jesus' dick, his dark material 69. Tit fuck me Jesus, Satan snatch. Jesus lick me 69, suck Jesus' dick, getting nails. Jezebel, I love that one. Semen sucker, tasty temperance, Satan sucker 69. 666 inches of throbbing pink Jesus cock. Bukake Jesus. Slut for Satan, slut for Jesus, on my knees for Jesus, wet for Noah. Which is, I think, my favorite.
That one is the most awful.
Sodomizing Gomorrah, melancholic sodomizer, Satan's secretary, angel of cum, Satan's blown out asshole, saving for Satan, Satan slut, Satan slapper. See, the S is being picked up on by a lot of people. The broken angel. See, that's someone who's pure and sort of like goth but nice. Demon sucker, 69. A lot of people picked up on the 69, which was an element of Rosabel's email. Those were the entrants that got closest.
Oh, that was not even all.
Not even all of them. We got so many. All I'll say is that Rosabel's email was filthier than all of those. No one got it.
Some of those are as equally filthy.
Bear in mind, Rosabel was 11 years old. So I will say the competition's closed.
No one got a Zoom with her?
No one got a Zoom with Rosabel. She also emailed me after the episode going like, what the hell? I didn't agree to this. And I said the chances of anyone guessing are very low. Anyway, thanks for everyone who played. It was a very fun game. And I loved because I have notifications on my phone just for the last week. Just notification, like Slut Slayer 69 just pops up, you know?
It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Okay, Portland. Now, I guess we're talking about Portland because it's kind of become this focal point where ICE is putting on a big song and dance down there. Trump has sort of said this is a city that is full of chaos and drama, which I thought was interesting because when we went there, it was reasonably chill.
I mean, we also have the context of this happened in LA 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. It's out of the same playbook.
And do you remember when it happened in LA? There was sort of two questions. It was like, will this last for long here? And then this idea of, will this happen in other cities, which Trump was threatening at the time? And my brain kind of went towards maybe this won't be in other places. Like it's a big song and dance now.
Right.
But the madness will chill out.
When it was happening here, like there was a lot of people reaching out, like asking. I feel like everyone in Portland is dealing with the same bullshit we were dealing with at that point.
100%.
I had people come into town that were like, is it safe to come still?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're talking 4 blocks downtown where there's some protests.
And there are protests that are there because...
peaceful protests.
A specific thing has happened. Like
that were then agitated.
In LA, it's a show of the National Guard. In Portland, it's a show of ICE and police. And it's a tiny area because it's literally outside one building.
What led up to it was how hard they were going at LA and how inhumane all of it was and all of the stories from neighbors and people in LA that we were hearing. Mm-hmm. LA was sick of it.
Yeah. My friend Celine saw someone getting tackled on the road in front of her while she drove past a Home Depot. It was just like in front of us everywhere.
So does that mean in Portland, ICE has been that rampant, or it's a democratic city and it's being targeted?
It's just that.
Because it's just an ICE facility there that's having protesters.
That's it. I mean, Trump has just decided this is a violent, lawless place because there were a few peaceful protests that took place. Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Bombas. Now, if you're not already aware of this, I've been telling you this for a little while. Fall is well and truly here. The kids are back in school if you have kids. Vacations are over, and it's officially the start of what I like to call the cozy season, which means it's time to slide into some beautiful Bombas socks. You know Bombas. We talk about them on the ads all the time. They're bloody good. I'm wearing Bombas socks whenever I'm not wearing my Crocs. They're the most comfortable socks. They also have slippers, tees, and underwear as well. They're made from premium materials that actually make sense for this time of the year.
Think merino wool that keeps you warm when it's chilly but cool when it's hot. Mm-hmm. Supima cotton that's softer, stronger, and more breathable than regular cotton. Mm-hmm. And even rag wool, that thick, durable, classic, cozy sock you'll want all fall.
The best thing about all of this, they don't just do socks. They do slippers and waterproof Bulletproof Friday slides. Also, for every item that you buy, Bombas donates one to someone experiencing homelessness. Over 150 million items have been donated thanks to customers buying Bombas socks.
And my favorite part about Bombas socks is just the cool patterns and colors they have. I don't typically like plain socks, and the fact that they've got all sorts of loud patterns and textures.
I mean, that's why I love them. And they also grip the foot and the thigh beautifully. It sounds weird to say it out loud, but they do. There's nothing worse than a sock that droops down your leg. Bombas, they stay tight. And I really like that about them.
So head over to bombas.com/bird and use code BIRD for 20% off your first purchase.
That's BOMBAS.com/bird and use code BIRD at checkout. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Mint Mobile. Now, if you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. And at Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No, no, no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, and no hidden fees. No BS.
That's why we said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. So ditch your overpriced wireless and jaw-dropping monthly bills, unexpected overages, and hidden fees. Plans start at just $15 a month at Mint.
When I first got to America, I was paying, I think, $85 a month for a mobile plan. I just thought that was the normal thing. Then Mint came along as a sponsor and told me it doesn't have to be the case.
I'm sure all of those calls back to New Zealand on your old plan were expensive.
Oh, yeah. That shit adds up.
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
And you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your number along with all your existing contacts when you swap.
Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/bird. That's mintmobile.com/bird.
Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
I have a lot of friends in Portland.
Yeah, what's your place?
I reached out to a bunch of them when we decided to do this episode. I kind of sarcastically said, "How are things going in Portland? I hear it's a war zone."
You're right. Is your house on fire?
Because that's what is being reported, that like things are bad there, and these were the responses that I got.
Hello, Rob. So Portland is great. It really couldn't be less like a war zone. 5 years ago or so, there were parts of downtown that looked pretty rough. These days, it's great. There's very little police presence anywhere. There seems to be a tiny bit of protest activity around the ICE building. This is like 1 or 2 blocks. Really, the only thing we hear about what's happening is how the creative ways people have been trolling the ICE agents and the military that are in town. And it's like collectively just been a big joke. It seems to have united the town, making fun of how not like a war zone it is.
Hey, Rob. Just wanted to fill you in on what's going on in Portland. Really unfortunate that we're getting such a bad rep because our city is so beautiful and so are our people. I was just in downtown yesterday doing some shopping with my family, and there's really nothing out of the ordinary happening. I think we got hit pretty hard during COVID, and the city is kind of coming back to life and rebuilding itself. Businesses are starting to open back up again, and it's safe. I don't feel like I'm in any danger or anything like that. I mean, I can't really speak for what's going on around the ICE building because I haven't been down there, but driving past it doesn't look like anything crazy is happening. So yeah, if anybody hears this and they're hesitating to come to Portland, please come enjoy our city, come enjoy fall. It's so beautiful over here. Good food, good people, and yeah, that's about it.
I travel to downtown Portland on a day-to-day basis to check in on my cartoon aquarium immersive family art experience. I've been working on immersive art for families and adults in downtown Portland since 2021. And I can say that specifically this week, this month, this quarter, I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary. I mean, other than the fun Portland out of the ordinary. Our sidewalks are covered in sidewalk chalk. We have enough people visiting us that we run out of bubble solution for the kids outside. It's a special place. I know things are happening here, but they're happening awfully close to where I'm running this educational family cartoon museum space, and people are still coming, and people are still visiting the flower shop and the bakeries that are next to me, and people are still, filling Powell's books. People are still going for walks and riding scooters around town. I mean, Portland is as it always is. It's an amazing place. It's an amazing city. And, it stands for something, that's for sure. But we're okay here. Everything's going relatively fine. It's still a city. There are still its issues, but we don't need this. It's been a tough time here in Portland as far as reputation goes. And I've spent a lot of time defending it, especially to people on the East Coast or other parts of the country who know that I live here, who are very kindly checking in on me, but everything's fine, except for the obvious that isn't fine, that is happening in a very small section, and it's not Portlanders that are making it not fine.
Hey, Rob. It's your old pal calling from my garage in Southeast Portland. Your question, how is Portland right now? I hear it's a war zone. Well, I don't really know what to say about that. The most obnoxious claim I've ever heard in my life. I'm just living here, man. My 2 kids are in there raging in the basement. One's playing the melodica, the other one's on drums. I'm just trying to make a soup because it's raining outside and rollerblade my kids to soccer practice. All this talk about Antifa, anti-fascism, it's just completely insane. Closest thing that we have to that is people who have a sign up in their yard that says, "Proud anti-fascist home." I got one of those on my block. She's 75 and she's retired. That's Antifa, man. It's not an organization, it's an idea. The protests here at the ice facility down by the old spaghetti factory on the southwest side. We're contacting somebody that goes down there every night just to keep tabs on it. There's between 20 and 100 people down there if it's super busy. There's a guy in a chicken suit, a couple sharks, a polar bear. Our biggest organized protest was an emergency naked bike ride. I mean, give me a break here, man. The only difference between Portland and any other city is that this place is just a badass place to live and raise my kids. I drive 90 minutes one way. I can take them sledding 9 months out of the year on the side of an epic mountain. I drive 90 minutes the other way and we're shucking oysters on the beach. It's an amazing place to be. And we take care of each other here. That's part of what I do for my job. Thankfully, it's not totally dried up because the money that funds it is local. And, they tried to take some of it away. They have, but can't take all of it. So luckily, I still have a job. The people that I'm concerned about are the ones that drive in from out of town in their pickups and start spitting at the guy in the chicken suit, or the high-level politicians that come to the aforementioned spaghetti factory and go back to their pulpit and say that we're trying to cover something up here, man. No, man. We're in the middle of an initiative to get every homeless person a bed. And my job, I repair houses for low-income people. There's no better place to live in the country. This is no war zone. This is just a good place to be. Luckily, my kids can't see any of it because they live in a place that's fun and happy and cool. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Rob. It's ridiculous. The only thing that is a problem is people who have fascist tendencies are scared of people who rebel against it, which is just a group of silver-haired hippies here in the great state of Oregon, man. I'm not going anywhere else. This is the most badass place I've ever lived. And I think it's just a travesty that the place that I call home is being subjected to this. But I guess that's fascism for you, right? Extreme nationalism, it's an authoritarian leader, and it's a suppression of the opposition through militarism, which is what everybody's attempting to do now. And that's the scary thing. Where I live is not a scary place. I am not a scary person to be around. My children are gorgeous. So that's all I got to say about that, man. I hope it starts raining and they give up because it's cold and wet. You know what I mean? Welcome to Portland, baby. Welcome to the proverbial resistance.
Your friends are so nice.
We've got some good ones.
That paints a picture.
Yeah.
And that was Mike, who we had in our live show, the second to last gentleman.
Yeah.
He runs amazing public art pop-ups.
Everyone I know in Portland, they're artists, they're musicians, like they're creative, they're beautiful people like that.
So basically the president of this country just decides to go, hey, liberal left city, you're out of control. I'm going to shut that shit down with America's military might. So take this. And of course, those cities react in various ways. I think Portland, peaceful as hell. LA was also relatively chill. It got angsty because there were a lot of people and they were angry and it was busy. And so, of course, things like spilled out occasionally, but it was across, 1 or 2 blocks. I mean, you heard that episode we did.
I imagine there's some intentionality in where they're picking. Because Chicago is in this same situation.
It is. Yeah.
And it's these liberal hubs that they know people are going to get riled up about. It's to antagonize.
I think the weird situation we're in at the moment, and we don't need to go into this too much, but it feels like Trump sold this idea that we're going to get criminals, illegal overstayers, all these horrific people, which is one issue and how that's being dealt with. But I think what America's seeing at the moment is that, no, it's just like people that are
working
that are working and having really good lives and have kids in school and are contributing to the country probably more than most, and they're the ones that are being affected. And I feel like, I might be wrong on this, but I feel like there are some people that originally backed Trump that are kind of starting to go, maybe we're not so sure about this seems not so good, or am I being naive?
I have hope that that's the case. Every day you're seeing ICE videos and stories. And again, I think we talk about this every single time that we're in our liberal bubble in seeing them. But it's videos of, there was one recently in Hoffman Estates where I grew up, like northwest suburbs of Chicago, of a 15-year-old being dragged out of her car.
That was your neighborhood.
That was my neighborhood that I grew up in. Yeah, and like sitting on her and dragging her.
No, it's psychotic.
There's endless stories about that. And I don't know what the opposition reporting of that is just denial of what that is.
There's also that utter propaganda, right? There's that video. There was that case in Chicago where they were rappelling down the roof of an apartment building, right? Mm-hmm. Show of force. And I watched a bit of the propaganda video that was put out around that, and it had cool music and it made everything look edgy. It was like you were watching Die Hard fucking 5 or something. And maybe there's people that watch that and go, like that whole Team America thing, like America, fuck yeah. Maybe that's still I guess that works for some people.
If there's anyone listening that is conservative, that is saying that this is what they should be doing, I would be curious their response to that stuff.
100%. flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com. If you can take the time to write, that would be amazing. Because it is, I mean, I watched that video of that kid in the car and I found that unsettling. That's where you grew up. Like, that's insane.
Every day there's a new story, a new video, like hearing about friends whose wives were abducted and sent to another state and they haven't heard from in days. Has a green card, married, like not a criminal.
The way my brain works, I get agitated if I go to bed and something on my to-do list isn't complete. Mm-hmm. I get so agitated by something not being there. There are people going to sleep and they don't know where their partner is.
Yeah, or their parents.
It's beyond.
There's so many of those like immigration courthouse buildings of kids being pried away from their parents who are being taken away.
And that's why people are fucking protesting.
Yeah. And that's also not what America is. It's not what it's supposed to be.
And that's why I think that I feel like some people that kind of gave the thumbs up for cracking down on crime or whatever the hell they thought they were doing are starting to go, surely this isn't what America's about. Like this isn't what I signed up for.
I guess that's the other thing I'm curious about. I don't know anyone that has had that revelation. So I would also be interested to hear anyone that was like, I was behind this and
has pivoted.
I've realized that this has gone too far.
Again, I would love that. flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com. Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Naked Wines. Now, one thing that I've discovered about living in America, specifically Los Angeles, is that people love to have dinner parties and dinners and events. And because I don't cook and I'm fairly useless, I like to bring a bottle of wine.
It's a good party gift to bring along. Someone at the party is going to want to drink wine, and especially you bring a tasty wine like Naked Wines, it'll definitely be a hit.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing is, I have no idea how to cook. I also have no idea what kind of wine to get. So I've stopped wasting time at the grocery store staring at this giant wall of wine, not knowing what wine to pick.
Yeah, they just mail it straight to your apartment.
That's what I want. I want someone to be sorting out those decisions for me, and Naked Wines really helps with that. Naked Wines is a wine club that directly connects you to the world's best independent winemakers so you can get world-class wine delivered straight to your door. Use the code BIRD for the code and password at nakedwines.com and get $100 off your first order. That's 6 bottles for just $39.99. I'm a big fan of a beautiful Sav, and Naked Wines can sort you out with that. If you're into reds, they'll do that. Look, whatever you want, Naked Wine has got you covered.
Yeah, they bring you the most amazing wine straight from the winery at up to 60% less than what you would pay in the store. They cut out extra costs like middleman markups. Winemakers can pass those savings on to you without skimping on the quality.
And yeah, if you turn up at a party with a Naked wine, people are going to be incredibly happy. They've been around for over 15 years and backs over 19 independent winemakers around the world to make the wine you love to drink.
Now is the time to join the Naked Wines community. Head to nakedwines.com/bird, click enter voucher, and put in our code BIRD for both the code and password for $100 off your first order.
That's 6 bottles for only $39.99 with shipping included. That's $100 off your first 6 bottles at nakedwines.com/bird and use the code BIRD and password BIRD for 6 bottles of wine for $39.99. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Quince. Now, as the weather cools, which I'm sure you'll be noticing right now, I'm swapping in the pieces that actually get the job done. Warm, durable, and built to last. And Quince delivers every single time with wardrobe staples that I'll carry through the entire season.
Yeah, I'm about to head out of town a little bit for the holidays and need a new jacket.
It's going to be getting snowy.
I'm going to be getting something at Quince to keep me warm.
You and me both. I just got a sweater from Quince because I wear a lot of shorts and t-shirts, and as it chills, I need to get warm. And Quince has stuff that looks good and that lasts and is also incredibly affordable, because by partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman to deliver premium quality at half the cost of similar brands.
Yeah, you can find fall staples at Quince you'll actually want to wear and repeat, like 100% Mongolian cashmere from just $60 to classic fit denim and real leather and wool outerwear that looks sharp and holds up.
Yeah, I have that sweater on the way, and it cannot arrive soon enough because it is getting, weirdly in LA, very cold. So layer up this fall with pieces that feel as good as they look. Go to quince.com/bird for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/bird. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/bird.
Okay, so I went to Portland last week. When this airs, it'll be a couple of weeks ago. And recorded some audio down there. And I went there because Pastor reached out to me. Heather. Surname? Questionable? Hellman?
Pastor Hellman?
I made a joke about it and she just rolled her eyes and was like, yeah, I heard that before. Not original.
Real great writer, Dave.
Yeah, good, real funny man, Dave. But Heather reached out And she basically said, I'm a pastor at a small church in Portland. I'm going down outside the ICE building and supporting people that are down there, protesters, people coming to check in at the facility, etc. And she said, if you want to come, you can come. And so I just thought, oh, of course I'll go. Also in the back of my mind being, I mean, we've talked about this a bit off air, but I'm very aware that
we're very critical of Christianity.
We're pretty critical of Christianity.
Yeah.
And I am aware of that at times, and I think it's kind of the case. I mean, Christianity's has a pretty good run. They've got enough people championing it. I think it's fine to go after it. But I also think it's important to remember that there are Christians who are doing really amazing things.
Right. We don't want to paint with too broad of a brush.
We had a run of episodes about some of the worst Christians imaginable.
Yeah. I saw comments that were like, oh, another Christian episode. There are things to be critical about, but there's also like a lot of good people that exist.
100%. And Heather Hellman struck me as one of those people. So I thought, I want to go and see Miss Hellman. Why not? One of the first things you notice when you turn up to the ICE facility in Portland is that you start sneezing and coughing a little bit more than normal, like you're starting to get a cold. Then you realize it's just yesterday's tear gas and pepper spray being kicked up by passing feet and cars. It's 11 a.m. and I'm down here with Heather and Josh, both pastors from different churches in Portland. They're here to be a friendly face as various people come in to voluntarily check in with ICE. Some of those checking in leave the building, some of them don't.
They're targeting our cities because we don't agree with them.
Heather's a pastor at a local Presbyterian church and says it's really important to be down here.
It's awful. I mean, just the cruelty. They've gone to children's schools and taken their parents. They took that firefighter off the front lines in Washington. So many of the people, I think it's like 65% aren't in any way committing a crime. They're documented and everything. Even if they're criminals, these are still people. Like Jesus specifically mentions prisoners as people we're supposed to put ourselves in their shoes and take care of them. And so even if we want to say they're criminals, the cruelty and the way at which they're going about taking people is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, not even just from a Jesus level, just basic humanity.
As we talk, a man and woman arrive with their kid who must be about 6 or 7. ICE has called them in for a visit, so here they are. Someone in a vest takes their details before they disappear into the building.
There's also trackers here. These are the guys that are doing the really important work. They are tracking who's going in and out and getting emergency contact information in case they don't come out, so they can contact their family members and make sure that someone knows they're in there.
There have been protests happening down here in Portland for months now, and they've tended to make headlines in the news because they don't feel like your typical protest. You will have seen the people in blow-up animal costumes, including the frog that ICE decided to tear gas a while back. Generally, what's the vibe been like?
It's been very Portland. So it's been everything from 200 pastors was the last big protest to there was a pastries and pajama party down here. There was a tea party. There's the nightly inflatable costume rave.
I mean, those inflatable creatures are amazing.
Yeah.
What was it like having 100 pastors and people of faith, or 200, you said, sort of all gathered together?
Yeah. It's awesome. It was really empowering just to see this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to stand up with one another for our neighbors in our community. A lot of times different churches see things differently and don't always get along, but to see us come together because there's a bigger thing here, and it's overcoming cruelty and hate with love. So it was really, really powerful. Lots of women clergy too, which makes me really excited.
And just looking around where we are now, can you just sort of orientate me to like what is around? It looks like there's apartment buildings and the ICE facility. It's like a very funny place to have a federal building like that.
It's bizarre. I think our mayor's trying to get it to move, actually.
It's kind of a bummer.
It is a real big bummer. Yeah, there's a really nice waterfront area just down here. There's some great like coffee shops and restaurants. There's OHSU has a bunch of medical buildings down there. The tram comes from down here. It's like a nice neighborhood.
Josh tells me that ICE used to sit next to a school, but the school had to move because the kids were choking on tear gas all the time. There's a decent amount of traffic trickling past and a lot of honking horns in support. Someone drops a bunch of donuts for lunch. Portland loves donuts.
My name is Josh. I'm a pastor. Generally, the crowds have been trying to say, you know what, we do not approve of what's going on. We do not like the work. We do not like what ICE is doing, but we're also not going to let them take our joy. We're not going to let them take away our spirit. And so part of it is about how do you keep strong in the face of adversity? And that's what I feel like is happening when you see people who are dancing and things as the protesters do. They're just trying to keep a sense of their spirit up. And I think that's important. I mean, when you're pointing out on national news that the one of 4 protesters is in a chicken suit, it kind of points to that absurdity. It points to the whole absurdity of what's going on. And I think also, too, I mean, in Portland, it wasn't that long ago that, we had much bigger protests going on, downtown. And so I think our muscle memory also recognizes this is nowhere near the level of what Portland could be capable of. But I think we've also learned a lot in that amount of time, too. We don't want it to devolve into what it was 5 years ago. We don't want to give them an excuse to be the way they are. And I think at least that's what I'm seeing right now.
3 people just went into the building. Can you just explain what was happening there?
So likely they were going in, they had a check-in, so they were summoned by ICE for a check-in, and so they have an appointment and they need to go in there. One of the things that we do is we hope to be able to provide witness for them going in and watching and holding vigil, so praying that they come out and then sharing and rejoicing that they come out. And one of the things too is that we do is we try to track them, make sure we know them. If they're willing to check in at the table, get some basic information so we can get some emergent contacts. So if they get detained, we can contact family members, etc., or help them in that way. I always am praying that they come back out. I don't ever want to see anybody in there for long term.
How long do they stay in there before you sort of start to go, oh, this isn't looking great?
Yeah, that's at about an hour and a half. We start, the legal observers and the trackers will start getting nervous and start going, okay, we need to track them down, see if they're okay, then start notifying. That's when we get nervous.
Yeah, no, it's surreal. Really, really, really surreal. In the most uninviting building you could possibly want to walk into.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, you definitely want to walk through plywood directly into an industrial brutalist business building.
I walk a little further up the street, directly outside the main gates of this sort of soulless federal building, where a few protesters with signs have gathered. One reads Project 2025 ignored. Someone else has scrawled, "Kidnapping is bad," on the ground in chalk. Nancy, what brought you down here to the ICE facility in beautiful Portland?
I feel like we've been battling the same problems since I was born in 1963. I have 2 children whose last name is Uribe, and I'm tired of it. I've been fighting this forever. I'm sick of the racism. There's no reason for it. We have a president who's out of control. He's lost his mind. He's a complete lunatic, and that's why I'm here. Somebody needs to start standing up and saying, well, I mean, I have been, but we need to get the word out. People have got to do stuff about it.
As we talk, I look up and see 3 guys in black tactical gear looking down at us from the roof. Totally normal stuff.
We have people who are just flat out lying about the state of Portland. As you look around, there's no broken glass. We're standing here right now. These people need to know that we're embarrassed and ashamed about the way that they're behaving, the choices that they're making. And I mean, even to work as a construction person at this ICE facility, I would be embarrassed. I would never do anything like that. They're bringing shame on our nation, and the whole world sees it.
We want to stand with our immigrant neighbors. We're very concerned that they're being snatched off the street by masked people. We feel it's wrong. We don't want to see troops here in Portland. We don't need them. It's a peaceful, quiet community, and we're doing fine.
Across the street, there's a group of women all sitting down knitting. There's something quite remarkable about this. These masked, tactical gear-wearing federal agents all hold up across the street, protecting the building from rogue knitters. For the knitters, their message is really simple.
We wanted to show the peacefulness of Portland.
Next to the knitters, a man in a red superhero outfit and a blonde wig arrives. He's holding up a sign with the word fascism crossed out. What's your name, sir?
Well, I'm the greatest American hero. Don't you know? I'm here to defend life, liberty, justice, the pursuit of happiness, and down with fascism, man.
Have you been down here before?
I have.
And you get a good response?
Well, I haven't been down here dressed like this. This is my first time dressed up. What's happening here is ridiculous, and it's unconscionable, and it's uncalled for. As you can clearly see, nothing is burning.
It's pretty chill.
It's pretty chill. And the only people here are peacefully protesting, exercising our freedom of speech to speak out against a tyrannical government that is committing atrocities.
Something really neat. I'm from New Zealand, so all this is very new to me, but something that is very neat that I think Portland has done is, in turning up like you've turned up, you are showing how ridiculous it is, because like it's awful and you can get angry and all those things are valid, but sort of just showing up in a, no offense, but in a silly outfit, it does show just how this whole thing is just so dumb.
Yes, yeah, it's a colossal waste of time and money. You know, I saw a post on one of the socials that said that Portlanders are at their wits' end with the helicopters. And I live not too far from here, and yes, I can hear the helicopters all night long. I'm not at my wits' end about it. It's annoying, but I can tune it out. What annoys me more, what upsets me more as a tax-paying contributor, as a citizen of this city and of this country, is the colossal waste of time and money and energy.
This is all important stuff. But also, in a podcast about American culture, I guess I should learn about what superhero he's dressed as I have no idea.
So in the early 1980s, 1980, 1981, 2 seasons, there was a TV show. When I was 4 years old, it made a big impression on me, and it was called The Greatest American Hero. And it was about a high school teacher who took his class, and he was a class of sort of misfits, took them out in a short bus out to the desert. The bus breaks down, and he says, "You kids stay with the bus. I'm going to walk back to the city and get help." On his way back, he gets lost, comes across an alien spacecraft. The aliens bestow upon him a costume. And the costume comes with an instruction manual, which he then promptly loses on his walk back to the bus. All the episodes, he's trying to figure out how to use the costume. He can fly, but he doesn't know how to land. He can turn invisible, but sometimes turns visible again, and that sort of thing. And it was a fun show.
And obviously stuck in the brain.
Stuck in my brain very, very deeply.
I duck away from ice for a moment, meeting up with my friend Jemiah, who lives not too far away.
I'm a middle-aged, bisexual, disaster black lady who is a novelist and is kind of not very good at anything else, but I'm a damn good novelist. So that's pretty much what I do. That's been my life, and I get to live it here.
Jemiah loves Portland a lot, and I'm curious what they make of Trump deciding that their city is allegedly a war zone.
I think that more than anything, the reason why Donald Trump is focusing on Portland is because of our defiance against oppression and being told what to do, even by the federal government. I mean, I'm a weirdo. I've always been a weirdo. I've never been able to actually fit in any place, but I like to observe things, and I like to study things, and I like to talk to people and see what their lives are like just on the ground. And in Portland, there just seems to be a much lower barrier of entry to be able to do that. You can talk to basically anybody in any situation, and almost every time it's going to be really friendly. And you learn a lot about people just by being like, "Hey, what'd you do today?" Yeah. And people are happy to talk. And that's true for every single tiny increment of society, from people who are very wealthy to people who have absolutely nothing and are living on the street. Yeah. But we're all human beings here, and we all seem to see each other's humanity here in a way that I have never gotten from any other place. We have a sort of standard way of operating here where we're goofy. We're never serious about anything except for the things that we're really serious about, like taking care of each other and making sure that there's plenty of creativity and that creativity is allowed to actually flourish, whether or not it's financially or just with attention, that this is very much an art town, and that art is really very much a huge part of the fabric of this place, but that to actually have that work, there has to be this underlying ethic almost of morality of just no, we have to take care of each other.
I see that weirdo and goofy stuff when I return to the ice facility later that night. It's a little colder, and the ice guys perched on the roof with their little pepperball guns seem a bit more eerie somehow.
Yeah, and what's underneath them? A dancing unicorn, a peacock, a dinosaur, a panda. There's a raccoon over there. Look at that.
The animals are breeding.
The animals are breeding. They're multiplying. It's like our house. There's a whole menagerie now. They're everywhere.
I walk over to talk to the frog. He's not the frog that got a dose of tear gas blasted into his suit by ice, but one of his frog buddies.
I came down here with 2 other frogs and we're just hanging out, and then all these other animals started showing up. It's crazy. And there's going to be more and more every night, I'm sure. It's like a whole thing happening. Yeah, it's great.
Every now and then, an announcement plays over loudspeakers from the federal building.
Stay out of the area of the driveway to allow for vehicular traffic. Remain on the sidewalk or across the street. Anyone, to include the press, trespassing on federal property is subject to arrest.
Anytime vehicles entered or exited the ice facility, the gates would open and a swarm of masked, armed agents would march out to push the crowd back. It's all pretty weird. It's a group of peaceful protesters in animal costumes, all pretty chill, and then you look up and on the awning of the federal building are a bunch of masked men with, I guess, pepper spray, guns or something. I don't know. America loves guns. They're holding guns. I'm all masked. It's pretty embarrassing and weird. I don't know.
Is your throat burned too?
Yeah, so that's tear gas from yesterday, just being kicked up by feet and people.
That's crazy,
Wow.
dude. Yeah. I've never been tear gassed before.
Some people do that in the military. The dance party was happening, and then ICE wanted to come out on the driveway, which is where the dance party was. Mm-hmm. And so a bunch of soldiers came out. Is that the right term for those
They
guys?
arrive quickly, don't they? Suddenly they're just there.
Quickly, they were there. They came out. The crowd pushed back, and then a crap ton of ICE vehicles came out. As that was happening, the guys on the roof were then pointing their guns down at everybody the whole time, like had their guns trained on everybody. That was interesting. And then all of that ended. The stormtroopers went back in, and the dance party started again.
I walk over to an older guy in a reflective yellow vest. I've seen him all night, but got curious. He's got this long white beard and has been walking around talking to people a lot and just sort of keeping an eye on things.
My name's Reese Scholes, and I am a volunteer peacekeeper. I'm a member of the local Friends meeting, Quakers, and this is sort of what Quakers do. We're against civil war. I'm just trying to keep the peace. We're just one little city. We got about 4 Quaker groups around here, and there's a lot of others who are participating. There are other churches too, and Buddhists. The Buddhists are coming tonight. It's good that way.
There were a few people waving American flags who were there to agitate and provoke. I saw a few younger guys with Charlie Kirk memorial merch live streaming, attempting to get in people's faces for a reaction that'd get clicks.
It seems that Trump's Third Army, the podcasters, are increasing the pressure here because they want to have the violence that's been described as being here but hasn't ever been here. They're trying to get that violence started.
Occasionally, when ICE emerged to push the crowd back, a few of them sprinted out into the protesters, without warning, grabbing those they deemed offensive, cuffing them and dragging them back into the facility. Just weird outbursts of chaos amongst the peace. It happened about 3 times while I was there. I ended up leaving at around 1 a.m. Things were pretty chill when I left. The Quaker was still there, along with a frog and dolphin, highlighting just how weird this all is. And I thought about something Heather and I had talked about earlier, because I feel I'm pretty critical of Christianity here on this podcast, but she reminded me really clearly that there are some really good ones out there too.
It's the most frustrating part of it is because we're supposed to be following Jesus, and the American principles look nothing like Jesus's principles. Capitalism is not Christian. It's not. There's nothing Christian about it. Jesus was a socialist. So it's really frustrating trying to follow Jesus in a system that is not built for him. It's really scary too, because some of the fastest growing churches are some of like the most Christian nationalists, and the rest of us are on this edge. And We are not hoarding money here by any means, and we try and send as much out the door as comes in. We have a very modest budget, and we have no endowments that we're sitting on, and we are on an edge. Smaller churches like ours are doing amazing work, but it's not necessarily sustainable. But it's just, I love what I'm doing, and I love the people I get to work with, so it's hard not to just be like, I'm just going to go in and do this or that, because it does feel very meaningful. But I also have a safe community, right, that supports me in doing this work, and so many pastors don't have that. So I can be down at ICE and everyone's praying for me and proud of me and just worried for me. But other than that, they want me down there. They want me representing our congregation, and they're making signs to march with me at the next big protest.
So my experience down there backed up what all of your friends said, in that essentially it's the most chill pace imaginable. And any angst is kind of brought on by these federal agents.
Yep.
And I mean, that's the thing. I will say Portland, super peaceful, super chill. But when it is 11 p.m. and you look up at this building and there were 4 guys in like full black masks, they had ridiculous on one level, what looked like, I imagine, were paintball guns. So they had that thing at the top that usually has paintball pellets, but it would have been for pepper. When the gates opened and, 40 agents came out to push the crowd back so cars could come and go, I was looking up at the guys on the roof, and they were just, I would describe them as being very angsty. And they were just absolutely like taking pleasure in like pointing their guns and triggers on fingers of, not like assault rifles. They're just pepperball guns. But they were like, there was a mood there that didn't feel great. And you kind of go, who is under the mask? We all know that they've lowered the tier of entry to work for ICE because they need more people to work for them. So who's under there? It just felt pretty gross. And that's all I've got to say about it, really. But the people down there were amazing.
That's the piece of all of this that comes out of each of these cities when this is happening, is just this community coming kind of around their neighbors.
100%.
That part gives me some hope for as bleak as things seem right now and as hopeless as things seem right now.
People aren't standing alone in it. They're doing that thing that we're meant to do in a community and come together with strangers around protecting each other. Like that simple thing. And yeah, you're right. The fact that it's still happening, fucking amazing.
Yep. And that's American. Like, that's what America is, not this other piece that is being touted as what America should be.
There is that thing that America has, especially when you compare it with New Zealand, which is just a bit more maybe shy, friendly, but shy. America has this insane hospitality where, especially traveling through certain parts of this country, people can be so welcoming and friendly, and they want to learn and they want to listen and they want to talk. And it's those kind of people that it's easy to forget about when you look, especially through the lens of what Trump is saying it is.
Well, it's a scary time right now to be here.
Yeah.
I was at a TV on the radio show last night at the Greek, and it's like 5,000 people there. And the guitarist from the band like made a speech about everything going on, and like to have everyone kind of collectively
in that moment
there that agrees and realizing that like, oh no, this is what so much of us still believe in.
We're all feeling this and we all know it.
Yeah. And that we're not alone, and that no, these values are still important to so many of us.
Yeah, and we can push back. We can peacefully push back and say we're not into this at all.
What's representing us everywhere is not what
we
feel our identity is.
You're not leaping out of bed going, yeah, this is us, what we're seeing being trumpeted from the top.
We are still here, and what we represent is still here, even if what's representing us is not aligned with that.
I think you've nailed it. That's absolutely what you see walking around outside that ICE facility is different ages, nationalities, genders, everything. And everyone's just there for the same reason. Very clearly going, we're not into this shit. Like, this is fucking horrific. The only thing I wanted to say before we wrap up is that it is really weird. There's that thing where I think 6 foreigners' visas were revoked because people were deemed to say on social media something negative about Charlie Kirk. Like, that shit's weird. Like, when we started doing a podcast about American culture from like the perspective of an outsider, was not expecting this on the cards. And even the first, talked about this before, but like the first Trump term in 2016 was unusual and wacky and not great. This is a whole different thing.
Yeah, it wasn't as scary as this is becoming to feel.
Oh, Trump's doing shit. I think he's like desperate to hang on in and like somehow keep power.
That like feeling of everyone is still in this together and aligned. I don't even think it's unique to Los Angeles. I think it's, you go to a town in the South and like something wrong is happening, I still have faith that like the community and neighbors and people are still there for each other, whether it's red or blue. And that like, even if you're in a red state and you see a 15-year-old getting dragged out of their car, that's your neighbor.
Yeah, you'll go,
no, that's wrong.
That's wrong. I feel like there must be this turn where people are going, we didn't sign up for this. Like, this is really messed up. Because, yeah, no one wants to see that. I often imagine, like, what we're going to be doing in the studio in a year, what we're going to be talking about. Like, will it be Cheesecake Factory 2?
Hopefully.
Or, I really hope it is.
I would love to go back.
I would love it too. I just remember us on that road trip like 4 years ago, and we're like, we're going to do a lighthearted show about American culture.
Shower curtains and toilets.
Yeah, those were the days. Bring those back. Leaf blowers. Remember when I was raging about leaf blowers?
Yeah, I guess that is another point I think is worth calling out too. We didn't make this show to be a political one, and there's so much we could have been saying and doing. We've had this discussion of, and unless we can add a different voice or perspective to the story, that we'll pick and choose what we talk about.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, we're not the Daily.
Yes.
You're not going to tune into Flightless Bird every Tuesday and get a cutting political dialogue on the country, because I can't speak for you, but I don't know about that shit. I still feel like an outsider.
Yeah.
But I also think I feel really proud of what we're doing, because we're doing a lighthearted podcast about America. But when we need to say some shit, we'll say it, like, happily.
I don't think the spirit of the show is like what's going on in America and the culture of America, and it feels important to do episodes like this every
100%.
once in a while too, when the tides are shifting so much. And
well, yeah, it's like I feel like an episode like today feels like a check-in of just like acknowledging that things are crazy as hell. Also acknowledging that Portland is a fucking cool city,
exactly,
like full of good people, and acknowledging that not all Christians are terrible, and that Rosabel has the most horrific email address imaginable
that an 11-year-old could have had.
So horrific that the entirety of America could not guess what it is. Okay, there's a bit of feedback. Well said, Rob. The feedback, flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com. I don't mean to go on, but it does get better and better. I find it, I like reading the inbox, which is pretty cool. E said they work at a school in a role I won't say because I don't want to identify them. Homecoming, pep rallies, prom, graduation, spirit weeks, marching bands, and parent-teacher organization are just the tip of the American high school iceberg. In my role, I see the good, the bad, and the ugly pieces of this crazy puzzle. And this is what I found kind of interesting. Homecoming always ends in someone being upset they weren't nominated or that someone else won. They may not show it at first, but they end up landing in the counselor's office the Monday after, which I was curious about. You talked about this, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what about the losers? So yeah, thanks for that insight about the non-winners. Not the losers, the non-winners being affected by this.
The ones that have lost the popularity contest.
The ones that have lost it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
They don't all wander away happy. Andy, on my drive to work, I was listening to an episode about train hopping, and I normally tend to skip through the ads, but thank God I didn't today. I love that people are listening to the ads. you have an ad read about 25 minutes into this episode that took me off guard. By this point, I was reading the email going, what did I say?
I don't even know. Yeah, what ads did
Now I know you started this episode talking about Rosabel's raunchy email address, so I thought maybe this ad was keeping with the theme. Maybe it was a tiny hint for the listeners to guess her email correctly, but surely not. Not this. I couldn't understand why you guys would do an ad read for cum.com. cum.com. And David, you kept saying the word over and over. Come.
I sent Billy a text when I was going through this episode.
Seriously?
It was like, it sounds like David is saying cum.com with his accent. And he was like, I thought the same thing.
Okay, this is incredible. Look, I'm happy to reread ads if we're confusing the American public. I don't want to send them to cum.com. So she said at the end of the ad, it made sense because I spelled it out, calm.com. How often are you texting our editor, Billy, wonderful man, award winner? We won a podcast award as a team. And that has largely to do with Billy's editing and scoring abilities. Thank you, Billy. What was the award? A Signal Award. Gold, Best Indie. We buried the lead. We should have opened.
Best Indie Podcast in the craft category.
Yeah, it'll go to gold. Oh my God, congratulations. But seriously, our team is really amazing. Andrew, who does all our graphics and animation on YouTube. Billy, who does all the editing, scores it with original music. Does sound design, legend. You, Rob, producer, co-host, about a million things behind the scenes. And me, who just sits and yaps. So just so I say, calm is calm. I am calm now. I want to come. Come. Calm. You get the difference?
Yeah. Well, so the text I sent, David sounds like he's saying come when he says calm with his accent. He said, absolutely. I wanted to make a fake cum placeholder ad.
I just want to see, like, on the off chance that no one... What is cum.com? Okay, it's not one. So it's not a website. Thank God I wasn't sending someone to some pornographic hellscape. Am I doing this often?
No.
Just come and come.
You're saying the same thing. I mean, you're literally just repeating the word.
If we lose that sponsor because I can't say calm,
I'll just handle the copy lines where you say the name of the company, but we spell it.
CALM.
I also think we both love meditation. Like, that was a very genuine ad read.
No, it was.
That is very useful for both of us, given how busy our brains are.
And every American listening thought I was just saying come.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Andy, for telling me what Rob and Billy did not. As they texted furiously.
They didn't want to make you feel bad.
Accent. Well, it's happened now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brady, this is what I got worried about earlier. I love the show. I'm 13.
Uh-oh.
Shocked. From Maryland in Howard County, we have a town called
Maryland. I love that you...
Oh, what is it?
Maryland, yeah.
Maryland. Is it Maryland?
Maryland, yeah. Maryland. The happiest place, the merriest place.
Okay. Fuck. So this 13-year-old lives in Maryland. In Howard County, we have an old town called Old Ellicott City, which was made in 1772 for grain mills on the Patapsco River. And here is the B&O Railroad Museum. The Baltimore and Ohio Railroad was the first commercial railroad in the USA. And if you guys do another episode on trains, please come visit. I can meet you there and give you a tour of all the train stuff. Thank you, Brady, for that. It's just nice to know there is a train enthusiast listening. And Brady, I'm sorry for all the filth we talk about.
Yeah, hopefully he skipped a chunk of this episode.
They did. Now, the kids are cool. The kids are down. Trisha, coming to you from the Chicago South suburbs. Hi, Rob. So what would I know about New Zealand cheerleading? A lot, actually, as I'm a competitive cheerleading judge throughout the entire world. While competitive cheer is a bit different from that of what you witnessed at the homecoming, where the cheerleaders are cheering for a team. Competitive cheer is the team. Trisha's main point? New Zealand has a competitive cheerleading team, and they've had it for over 20 years. So I take back what I said about New Zealand not having any cheerleaders. I'm again spreading
lies about
misinformation about the country that I lived in for 40 years. Sarah said, I wanted to respond to the homecoming app and the train app. I live in Maine, and we do not do homecoming king and queen. We have a homecoming dance and football game, but because no one is really into football in New England at the high school level, we do not partake. I believe it's very heavily linked to football culture, but we, however, have a robust marching band culture. So some places in America, they don't do the king and queen. I just thought that was interesting. Kendall also listened to the train hopping episode. I appreciate you highlighting the danger of train hopping. I vividly remember caring for a teenage girl when I was a medical student in my pediatric rotation. She had tried to hop a train with her friends, but started moving, so she fell under the wheel and had her leg crushed. She ended up with an above-the-knee amputation, changing her life forever. As I always remind my son, your brain isn't yet fully developed as a teen, and you're going to do dumb things that seem fun, and hopefully you warning people from attempting a dangerous train jump in the future pays off. So again, train hopping, great Flightless Bird episode, but not advice on how to spend your time.
Not a great life choice.
Not a great life choice. You might have your teeth pulled out. You might be pushed, you might fall, you might be crushed. Keep that in mind. I got an amazing email from Dan that's too long to read, but he was a New Zealander who met a girl online when he was like 13. They dated online till she was 16 and it was her time for prom. He flew over to America and attended prom with her, which is pretty cool. Jess said, I grew up in Singapore, but now live in San Fran. My boyfriend is a local rapper by the name of Richie Cunning. Not coming, but Cunning, and has made a whole album inspired by the San Francisco Municipal Railway, aka Mooney. I listened to his album. I actually quite like it. So if you want the album, it's called Night Train, and he has a song called Train Jumpin'. Just wanted to give a shout out to that because I think that Richie Cumming has a great record.
Richard Cunning?
Cunning.
Okay.
Like I have a cunning wit.
Sounded like
Not
you said
I am
Richard
about, I am
Cumming.
coming. Cum.com. Adrian or Adrienne. How do you say Adrian when it's a female? It's got an E on the end. Adrienne?
Adrian?
I wanted to share a clarification about a story you mentioned, the one about your friend shoplifting to stick it to the big grocery chains. In reality, when a product is stolen, the grocery stores typically charge the loss back to the supplier. That means it's not the large corporation who takes the hit, but the small businesses that provide their products.
I mean, this was Band-Aid. It's a big company too. It's felt like Johnson & Johnson maybe providing the Band-Aids.
Yeah, I think my friend who was stealing wine was also stealing from like quite a wealthy winery, so it's still fine. But a good point.
It's a good point.
We're not encouraging train jumping or stealing.
Theft.
We're a how to do crime podcast now. Grant. Listening to the train hopping episode right now, you started listing some train songs, another niche pocket of American culture. I'm a music fan of all genres, but dabbled in my later 20s in a jam band and then bluegrass scenes, and they adore train songs. So much so that a zine started up that you should check out on Instagram about train songs. It's called @trainsongs. That is TRAIN_SONGZ, not S, but Z. And I just thought that's so wonderful that we mention train songs. Someone listens who has a zine about train songs. It's kind of cool. And finally am I that predictable?
A little bit.
Fuck. Does my body do something, or is it just
waiting for it? I knew it was coming.
No, this is a revelation.
Mm-hmm.
As I was thinking about this and thinking about the zine, I mean, I know someone who has a train song, Hayden, who I often talk to, my wonderful friend.
Mm-hmm.
He was in an award-winning New Zealand band called Great North. And he has a song about trains called Casey Jones. And I thought I could play us out with it.
Let's do it.
Hayden, you might listen to him and think, here's like a grumpy, disturbed, annoying man. And he is that. But he also, him and his wife are in this band, Great North.
I don't know that that's the general vibe people get from him. I think.
Well, what do you think it is? Simon, is that my baggage? Possibly?
I think that's the fun part, is that I think there is clearly the baggage, which is fun interaction.
Yeah, 20 years of a hellish relationship. What do you think of Hayden?
I like Hayden. He's clearly very smart and funny, and I like.
Are you looking for a
when
new
you guys
co-host?
shit talk
Looking for a new co-host? Something? You can get Hayden if you want.
So what does Hayden do in this band, though?
A singer-songwriter, plays a lot of instruments. His wife, Rachel, was in the band with him. She quit the band at one point, I believe, and they're no longer a band. She was like, I'm sick of this. I hate touring. We have 2 kids. We can't keep doing this. But I've been to a bunch of their shows, and Hayden is an incredibly talented musician, and I just thought, holy shit, he has a song about a train. This is Casey Jones by Great North.
Are we going to is he going to sue us or then copyright?
Well, just add to our ongoing harassment of each other. Yeah, Hayden, you come and so I'm not paying for this song. I'm just paying it off YouTube. You come for us.
See the bleeding incarnation kneeling down in desolation. When at the great transfiguration Abraham stood on the lonely hill, he was standing still, singing, who'll hold my hand? Who is gonna hold my hand? You will not keep your life, so leave it all behind. Casey Jones took the evening train. Casey, don't leave their way. Who is gonna hold your hand? Who is gonna hold your hand? As the engines crash, you will catch on fire. And if you're gonna start a fire, let me be your light. Let me be your light. It took the flames of recreation to find this revelation. Forget about your reputation. This'll be your liberation day. When everything else breaks, I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna hold your hand. When words have lost their power, we will be the sound. Let me be your light. Let me be your light. At our final tribulation, there will be no reprobation. And in the spinning constellation, I will breathe until the day I die. and then I'll close my eyes, hoping you'll hold my hand, hoping you'll hold my hand, until I find my home. Still got no place to go.